Yo, it's Guido. Good morning. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate your support as always. I think today should be Thursday morning, I do believe, based on when I'm planning on putting this out. If it's not, whatever, good morning, whatever day it is. We are in the Manticore, checking in with Chuck, and this one is easy as one to me. See what I did there? 1, 2. Let's talk about Himmel's Siegfried Leindorf in a scout, in my favorite scout in the game, which is the Manticore, of course, with Chuck as the commander in there, and we're going to work the field. Not a big surprise. This is going to end up in it with a pretty good result, but what we're going to talk about is the initial plan that I have, how that plan goes, how it may or may not change, how I've assessed what's going to happen in this match, and how does that happen. All right, break. Yep, it's a game in the past, and I can sit here and tell you all the things that I perfectly thought. I won't do that. I don't do that. I will tell you when I remember where the mistakes were or what I thought at the time. That is my promise to you. I hope you guys know that. I do that on every video. I mention that because I do get, from time to time, comments about stuff like that. If I show you a game that's a romple stomp, it's not necessarily trying to feature something that I believe I caused. If I think I have a significant portion in that, I'll talk about it. But a romple stomp, I think, can show you some important things as well about how to play the game, just as a close one can, and just as, and maybe even more importantly than most, a loss where you've made big mistakes. But let's talk about this one in particular. I'm spawned into the north. We have a standard battle here. Couple things going on right off the bat as I'm spawning into this one is I know there's only one scout on the other side. That's important. And there's 2 artillery. That's also important. There is a spot here that a lot of people like to go, an aggressive early spot. I think most of you know it. If you don't, it's down here on the road, and there's a couple of bushes right across from each other, and scouts love to go down there. My problem with that spot at this point in the game's history or meta, however you want to look at it, is it's a well-known spot, and typically you're going to get 2 scouts down there, and they're going to proxy light each other, and with 2 big artillery, it won't be long before one of them is out of the battle. So I'm going to take, I would call it the road less traveled, but it's not. Let's just get there. I'm going to go to a bush before I get to that point, which is also a well-known spot. The issue with the bush I'm going to is, as I said, it's a well-known spot, and it will get, on occasion, or maybe more than on occasion, blind shot, and especially either by arty or big guns sitting back there. So I'm going to try to get into an area where it's a little less common to kind of get to in the edge here. As soon as you spot somebody on this map, expect the blind shots to come back in these bushes right here. And if they're accurate, or you see them searching through, you might want to bail out of this thing. My plan here then is to try to catch the other scout if he's trying to cut a little close, and also realize that I am a stealthier scout, obviously, than the 13105. So I'm hoping that I can get to this bush, find him, and get SA on where he's going. The plan being, generally in my cranium, that if I can counter the scout, that opens up this bush down here, and those are the 2 bushes I was talking about right here on the road. It opens it up to me, unless they push a medium, which you got to watch for, and I should see if that happens. So that's all. Those are various thoughts in my brain. First step, get here, see what we see, and go from there. Watch for the blind shots, the blind shits. Get out of town if they start shooting at you. Realize as soon as you spot somebody, there's probably somebody going to be putting a little marker on your spot, all right? Especially at tier 10. Especially at tier 10. So now I've spotted 2. Oh, look, I found the scout, and I found a leopard. Fantastic. And now I'm collecting a little bit of assist. Now, scout players at tier 10 are generally pretty smart. They've got all the way to tier 10 with a scout. I said generally, don't lose your mind. I'm not saying all of them. So more than likely, well, clearly he knows someone's close because he's lit, and he probably suspects it's me. So here he goes. He's making a runner, and he wants to get up underneath there. The leopard takes a couple hits, and I am damn glad then at this point I did not go down to that spot. And this is why I take this kind of preliminary spot. There's also a bush back over here, fellas, you can use. The problem with this one is it really only spots this area and doesn't do a good job of catching them crossing. And pretty quickly I'm going to wear out my welcome here. People will start shooting in this bush because the scout's furiously clicking over here, more than likely, saying, dude, the Manticore is in that bush. Boom. All right, that's huge. Golf clap for Artie. Well done, my friend, and that is what I was looking for. And that's why I don't like that spot, just as I said. Getting nuked, getting proxy lit if I was sitting there. The Artie slapped him. A T-92 HMC got close enough and just took the rest of his hit points. And what that then does is completely opens up the map to the sneaky Manticore. And we're going to take immediate advantage. We'll push in. I'm hoping that the Leopard doesn't give me... I kind of saw the marker move back, so I think he's maybe not even looking through the little vision slit right there. And in any event, I'm pretty stealthy, so I'm going to sneak down here. Clearly, that forward move doesn't work if a medium got there as well, right? So you have to take into account what's actually happening in the match. But my general plan on this map, and frankly, it's from both sides. There's another corollary bush over on this side, and it happens to be right there. All right, so that bush is the corollary to this bush. Sometimes you can use this one. It's not quite as good, I don't think, right there. And on both sides, I would love to get this to this point unopposed in a scout, and that was the general plan. And it just so happened this time things worked out. So we see the Leopard, he's lit, he's taking shots. I'm waiting to see artillery go in there and start slapping this guy, or maybe guys getting sniper shots. We have a Bat Chat back there. We have a 50-51 who's actually come up next to me. More than likely he's spotted. All right, so I'm going to shift right there, guys. The reason I'm doing this is I just want to creep a little bit closer if I can. I'm going to use this bush to cover my approach from this Leopard right here. And instead of coming through this bush and trying to cross where I'll be seen, I shifted over and came up and over. Let's talk a little bit right now about multi-scout. That's not the case here. It really complicates this particular fight down here. If you kill both scouts, then it's the same thing. But if there's still one out there, you have to wonder where the little bugger is, especially if it hasn't been lit. Could be over here. Could be in this bush. This is an important one right here as well that scouts can get into. And if you start shifting around over here, it's easy to get lit by them if they're in this bush, and potentially in this one over here. So keep in mind, in this case, it's very what I'll call permissive now because there are no scouts left. Mediums with CVS complicate things. It's tier 10 with a lot of vision range, all that good stuff. But again, one of the stealthiest light tanks in the game. So this then feels like a much more manageable risk right now. Caught the Grill 15 out. Holy cow. Now look at the spotting ring that I have. Mine's past the ring, but that's the max 445 spotting range. He is too far inside that ring. Take a look at the mini-map down here, guys. And for you TD players and people who are trying to play vision games, this is a no-no. This dude is way too close to the bush over here. In fact, I'm really surprised actually the 50-51 didn't see him coming in here, although that guy may have never poked around the corner. And if the Grill is stopped, his camo is okay-ish. Still, though, look how far inside he is of that ring. When I first caught him, I didn't really see him immediately. Where was I looking? I was kind of looking like this. I didn't realize how far inside that ring is, and that's just really bad for him. So I'm just going to hang out here. I'm not going to shoot. Really tempted to do so. And I'm thinking, come on, guys. We got a lot of snippers back there. Go ahead and get those shots. Bat Chat's moving for some reason. I'm like, all right, do I need to hit him? Look at him. He's trying to get away. So he spun around, didn't quite get his hole all the way turned, and then ran into the red line. Purple in this case. And now he's a little bit stuck, and I'm just hoping. Do I need to take a shot? I'm kind of watching, taking a look. Oh, there we go. Now we're talking. So I'm zooming in now because what I'm going to do here is I'm on the plan anyway, is I'm on the back edge of this road. Okay? I do have a gun line on him. He is getting close to going outside of my spotting ring here. And then you've got, what, 10 seconds or so, and there's some equipment that makes it longer, and there's some skills that makes it longer, all that good stuff. As he gets to the point where I think he's going to disappear, I will take that shot and back out because I want to put that damage on him. But I also would really love my snipers to take him out and me not to have to fire. They probably suspect I'm there, but that's way different than knowing exactly where I am. So I'm like, oh, no problem, not required. The our Grill gets, wait a minute, who killed him? Oh, Bat Chat. All right, so the Bat Chat ammo racks the rest of his hit points, and I don't know how many hits stacked on it, but in any case, we've got 3,467 assists, fellas. All right, next closest croc to the boat is getting rid of the Leopard, which will then open up the rest of the field. More than likely, maybe there's another camper or two there, but we can start Pac-Manning through the south here into the southwest and get around the guys in the city. And that is one of the biggest problems on this map that you can run into. If you invest a lot in the field, but it becomes a stalemate, kind of like we have right now, that can hurt your city fight. You know, it's 2 Leopards and a Bat Chat, so those aren't really tanks you would expect in the city there. But if the city starts to get overwhelmed, then you can have a problem with a bunch of you sitting out here. If you are Pac-Manning and gobbling up the field, then you start to get crossfire, especially on guys in the south here, in the southwest of the city where the T-57 and the CS-63 are. You start getting those side shots. So when you're on that other team and you see this happening, your scout dies, and then you notice a guy in the field dies, and your leopard's got hit points down, you got to be saying to yourself, oh crap, pretty quickly I'm about to get flanked over here and shot in the side. And for that to be decisive on this map, it has to happen pretty quickly. I say decisive. You can still win the map in a slog in the city and a slow slog out in the field and get a couple guys around the side of them. The point of it is you just don't want the dudes on your flank. So, Leopard. He's got low hit points. I'm not going. I can't shut him down. This is something to think about with scouts. There's a 390 Alpha gun on the Manticore. That's not going to kill the Leopard. He's going to get 2 or 3 shots if I miss or bounce or something silly before I can actually kill him. Plus his buddies will start shooting me as well if they have a shot, and there's 2 artillery. What I need to have happen here is have this guy knocked down to a 1-shot, and then I will do what scouts do really well, and that's run in, assassinate very low hit point guys, and move on. Or take a nice spicy shot from a little bit longer range. So we're just going to hang. Things are going well. We're up hit points. We've taken a couple of their tanks out, and the field is looking like it's about to fall. And I'm just waiting for this guy to make a mistake and really just come out into the open here. All right, one thing I wish I had done here as I'm watching this Leopard, notice that if I try to back out, I have a long back out. I wish I had backed out to where I was a little bit closer to my edge so that I could get away better. We'll shoot him, back. Good news is I didn't get lit, but slight mistake there. I should have been a little bit further back. I really didn't need to be that close into the bush. The only thing that did was extend my maximum range, just those few more meters in case somebody was wandering around the back edge, or I needed burn through on somebody that was closer kind of idea. But in terms of taking on that Leopard one, a small mistake. So we'll back out. I realize I don't get lit. Thank you, Bat Chat, for not ramming me. He gets it. He knows what's going on, and now I'm headed to become their eyes. So we'll push on in here, see what we can find. I am going to fade to the right. I'm kind of watching what's going on there. I'm going to fade to the right of the map a little bit. Where are people going to be? Potentially on the hill or maybe back in this corner, although it's not as common as it used to be. And maybe already sitting in this low saddle over here. Sometimes you'll catch a sniper sitting on this hill. This top hill here seems to be the most popular for the super campers. So when you're doing this with a scout, you don't want to rage in so fast that you get really close to them. You just want to catch them on the edge of your spotting. So let's see what happens here. I may actually stop here and take some shots on there, but there we go. So there's a good target opportunity. It's worth it. By the way, I just lit the T95. Look at that. Just at that range, we're going to light that guy. In fact, might have been the Leopard, actually. I didn't see. I'd have to back it up. Somebody else may have seen him. Boom. There we go. T95. I'll kind of fade right in case I get lit. I don't. We're pushing in on the T92. Sorry, I said T95. Boom, there's a hit. And we do get no spotting on that, so that was somebody else's spotting. We do get the spotting on the GW. Down he goes for 4,000 assists, and then we're going to jam on the brakes, and we have a Badger. Super Snipperino, man. I didn't really mention that spot, but as you get closer to the middle of the map, then this spot sitting up here by the tank traps is a place snipers like to sit and try to take on the guys moving through, say, the 5 and 6 column in the city. Not a great spot. The Badger would have done way better to be up front, absolutely punching faces, but there he is. So we'll just take some free shots. I'll courtesy back up. He doesn't see me, so I can kind of stop, and I'm getting that lovely assist right there. See if we can get the kill on this guy. Oh, armor not hit. That's a bummer, but he dies. So we'll take the assist. We're up to 5,643, 912 damage. The Rompel is well on. Okay, crushed the field. Their light tank made a mistake, got a little over aggressive. We got a little bit lucky with the arty hit. We'll take it. Caught out the Leopard. Caught out big time the Grill, who made a huge mistake in his early positioning, way too close. Both arty dead. Shot guys in the side. Check out what's happened with our guys that were with me, the 50-51. And now the Badger's coming around. That's a really interesting thing right there. When you start to fold around here to the south, that allows guys that were sitting maybe back here on the ridge on, say, D6 and C6 to fold around low and come up underneath these guys, and that's huge. Especially once that Badger was dead, they're free to do that. You can see our Badger's taking full advantage of that. And now we'll just move in. no sense taking those sniper shots. I'm just going to try to get in nice and close on these guys. And at this point, one of the other great things about a scout is the speed. Now you can just get in here and start getting side shots and get some tasty damage chucked in on top of everything else. Actually bounced that one. I consider not going over the cap. That is something to think about. You may not want to do that depending on if it's a much closer game. That will let them know that you're back there. Number one. Number two, depending on the map, they may send someone back there who's bigger than you and then take you out, a medium or something like that. This is not that situation here. They're kind of trapped over there where they are. I'm not really worried about one of them coming back without getting absolutely annihilated. But in another game where it's closer, think long and hard about whether you're going to go across the cap. I said screw it. Doesn't matter if they know I'm back here. In fact, it might help a little bit, guys. That's the other thing about doing it, though. You know, if somebody peels back to come get you, that may make them more vulnerable to your guys. All right, so we find the CS-63 who's hiding out in this pond right here. That's probably going to get me lit. Yep, as suspected. The good news here is there are so many other tanks out there and guns. I probably could have sat there and just kept shooting. But because of the long reload on this tank, I was able to reposition. I did lose, I don't know what, 3 seconds of zoom in or something like that. I could have shot slightly earlier. Those guys are on the construction are really loving making the smashing sounds when I'm making videos this week. Let's see if we can get this kill here. Nope, not quite. Nice high roll, though. We'll take the 419. Left him at 98. And that's about it. Somebody rams him, I believe. There we go. Ramming speed. Nicely done. Last guy pushed into the pond and rammed. 2,053 damage. 5,870 assists. Nice little game in the 1 kill in the Manti Core. And that's a pretty good spotting number for this map for Siegfried Line. It does have a big field. It is a little bit difficult to use for light tanks and tends to not have a whole lot of hit points sitting out in it, but that really is the recipe for how to win over here in the field and fold around on the other side of the enemy team. Absolutely, it was a romple stomp. The guys in the city did a great job as well. I mean, we're up 17,000 hit points, but it was significantly, how would I say this? There was a significant contribution to this win by the field folks. We got through there fairly quick. We didn't keep our guns out of the fight that long. Once we folded around, it really started to go downhill for the enemy team. They're getting shot in the side. Our city guys did a nice job in the brawl and didn't get beat up too badly. They were able to push at the same time. And then that vice just closed, and that's the end of the game for these guys right here. So there you go, some thought process. It's good to go into the match with an idea of how you think it should go. Remember, you need to adjust as you go as well. Pay attention to what's actually happening in the match. Then make those good follow-on decisions after that. And sometimes it's just the romple that happens, man. All right, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thanks for your support as always. Let me know what you think down below. That's all I've got. We will see ya. Oh, hold on. Whoa.